Okay, if you're anywhere near the tech world, you probably feel that constant flood, right? The sheer volume of technical news every week. It's overwhelming.
It really is. You know, just trying to keep up with cloud updates, security patches, AI breakthroughs, it's basically a full-time job in itself. How do you possibly filter it all?
Exactly. You feel like you're just drowning in release notes.
Mhm.
And missing one key thing can, well, throw off your whole strategy,
For sure, the signal-to-noise ratio is just terrible sometimes.
which is precisely why we're here today. We're doing a deep dive, a shortcut really, into the essential updates from Andrew Kagan's technical news summary. This is for October 3rd, 2025.
Uh-huh. A curated list, that helps.
Yeah, and we're breaking it down into 8 key areas. We've got Azure, Microsoft 365, Power Platform, DevOps, data and AI, security learning, and broader industry trends.
So we're basically extracting the so what from all this information, not just listing things, but connecting the dots for you.
That's the plan, helping you spot those major trends, the big picture, without you having to wade through everything yourself.
Sounds good. Where do we start?
Let's begin at the foundation. Azure, the cloud infrastructure that, well, runs so much of the modern digital world.
Yeah.
All right, Azure, it's always changing, always updating. The summary mentions the general Azure updates September 26, 2025, which kind of confirms that constant pace.
Right. Business as usual in the cloud, always iterating.
But it specifically highlights something interesting. Azure Container Storage V2 overview.
Hmm.
Why pull that out? Why is a storage update for containers such a big deal for, say, operations teams?
Well, because it hits right at the heart of running modern applications reliably and affordably. Think microservices, Kubernetes.
Hmm.
They live on container storage.
Okay.
So when Azure pushes out a V2, it's not just a minor tweak. It usually signals pretty significant improvements. We're
Okay.
talking better stability, lower latency, maybe more efficient performance.
So it's less about a new feature and more about making the existing essential stuff work better
Hmm.
and maybe cheaper.
Exactly. Better stability means less downtime, which saves money. Higher performance can mean needing fewer resources, which also saves money. Plus, you get better SLAs for your apps.
Got it. So these foundational improvements, this focus on core stability for things like containers, that actually enables some of the more complex stuff down the line.
Precisely. It enables that large-scale automation and the complex AI workloads we're going to talk about later. You need that rock-solid base first.
Okay, let's move up the stack then to productivity. Microsoft 365. And wow, there are some huge shifts mentioned here. The absolute headline grabber has to be Copilot, now included with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and OneNote.
Yeah, that's massive. This isn't just an update. It's a fundamental change in how millions of people will work.
How so?
Well, AI assistants, Copilot, it's moving from being this optional, maybe premium add-on to just being there, baked right into the core tools everyone uses every day.
So it becomes the default expectation almost.
Exactly. It raises the baseline for productivity. It changes how you interact with documents, emails, presentations. It's woven into the fabric now. A really big deal.
So that's how we work changing. But the summary also points to a big shift in who can access things, focusing a lot on identity. Stuff like Microsoft Entra Verified ID, Advanced Setup, and Secure Access with Microsoft Entra Verified ID.
Right. Identity is absolutely critical. It's basically the new security perimeter in our distributed world, Entra Verified ID. That's Microsoft's big push towards more advanced, more secure, credential-based verification.
Moving beyond just passwords and MFA code.
Way beyond. Think decentralized digital credentials that you control. It's more complex to set up, hence the advanced setup resources, but it offers a much higher level of assurance. Understanding this is becoming non-negotiable for anyone managing access.
And alongside these strategic shifts, we're also seeing some more forceful admin actions, like Microsoft deciding to force install Microsoft 365 companion apps in October.
Yeah, sometimes they push things out centrally. And you see other admin-focused updates too, like what's new for Microsoft Teams Protection and Defender for Office 365, or comparing Windows Autopilot V1 versus V2.
So it's this dual pressure, isn't it? You've got AI, like Copilot, changing the user experience.
Fundamentally changing it, yeah.
And then sophisticated identity tools, like unchanging access control.
Yeah.
And admins are caught trying to manage both the strategic complexity and these tactical deployment shifts, like figuring out Autopilot V2.
It's a lot to juggle. Autopilot V2 aims for simplification eventually, but getting there requires learning new ways of doing things.
That focus on automation and control seems like a good bridge to the next section. Power Platform and Dynamics 365, the low-code, automation space, The Power Seekate team gets a mention here.
Yeah, the Power Customer Advisory team, they're often at the forefront, pushing what's possible. And the key thing highlighted here is Copilot Studio demystifying multi-agent and component collections.
Multi-agent. Okay, that sounds more complex than just a simple automation flow. What does that mean?
It means exactly what it sounds like. We're moving beyond one bot, doing one sequence of tasks. Now you can have multiple AI agents or copilots coordinating and collaborating within the studio.
Like one agent gathers data, another processes it, a third generates a report.
Precisely. Orchestrating these collaborating agents, that's kind of the next wave in automation, making it more sophisticated, more capable of handling complex, multi-step business processes.
That sounds pretty advanced, but I appreciate that the summary also grounds it with a very practical security point. The modern technique to store and rotate application passwords in Power Automate Desktop.
Oh, that's crucial. As more people across the business start building automations, maybe people who aren't security experts, you have to build in best practices.
So the tools themselves need to enforce good security hygiene.
Absolutely. Things like secure password storage and automated rotation shouldn't be optional or rely on the individual builder remembering to do it right. It has to be part of the platform, especially when these automations might handle sensitive data. It's essential for governance.
Okay, sticking with that agent theme, it feels like it's exploding into DevOps, SRE, and infrastructure too. You called it the agent revolution. The summary talks about an agent framework. Can you simplify that? How does this change things for, say, an SRE?
Right, site reliability engineers. Traditionally, a huge part of their job is writing infrastructure as code, or IAC, defining servers, networks, load balancers, all in configuration files. It's meticulous work.
Okay.
Now, with things like the introducing Microsoft Agent Framework and what HashiCorp is previewing with agentic infrastructure automation, Project Infograph, the idea is to flip that.
Agentic infrastructure automation. That's quite a mouthful. What's the flip?
Instead of writing how to build the infrastructure step by step, the SRE tells an AI agent the desired state. I need these services running with these security policies scaled this way.
And the agent figures out the how.
Exactly. The agent interprets the intent, generates the necessary configuration, manages the deployment pipeline, maybe even handles drift detection and correction autonomously.
Wow. So the SRE role shifts from detailed coding to defining goals and managing the agent.
Pretty much. It's a higher level of abstraction, which is why we're seeing updates directly in developer tools, like what's new in VS Code, coding agent integration updates. Developers aren't just coding, they're prompting for more than code.
They're having a conversation with the whole system.
Right, and this whole movement gets a boost from the open source angle, like the discussion on why open weight models matter. Making the underlying AI models more accessible accelerates this entire shift. It's a strategic play.
So if agents are automating infrastructure, they must be doing some pretty wild things with data too. Let's jump into data analytics and AI. The summary mentions Grok 4 now in Azure AI Foundry. That sounds cutting edge.
It is. Grok 4 represents the frontier of large language models. Having access to it via something like Azure AI Foundry means companies can immediately tap into that state-of-the-art intelligence.
For building what kind of thing?
More sophisticated applications, deeper data analysis, generating more nuanced content, things that were maybe impossible or impractical just a short while ago. It's a significant capability upgrade.
But access isn't everything, right? The summary also mentions the practical side, estimating capacity in Microsoft Fabric.
Exactly. You need both. The power of Grok 4 is amazing, but you also need to manage the cost and compute resources effectively. Fabric capacity planning is crucial for making these powerful tools actually usable in a business context.
Okay, balance is key. Now, shifting gears slightly to defense within AI, this sounds fascinating. The AI agent immune system for adaptive cybersecurity, with a claim of 3.4 MEO faster containment.
Yeah, this is genuinely futuristic stuff becoming real. A 3.4 times speed up in containing a security breach, that's potentially game-changing. It could be the difference between a minor incident and a major catastrophe.
How does an AI agent immune system work? Is it like AI antibodies?
Sort of. Instead of relying only on known attack signatures, these AI agents are constantly monitoring for anomalies, for unusual behavior. When they detect a potential threat, they can analyze it in real time and deploy countermeasures autonomously.
Like what?
Like automatically isolating an infected machine, blocking malicious traffic, changing firewall rules on the fly, all without waiting for a human analyst to investigate and respond. It's proactive, adaptive defense.
Self-healing networks, almost.
Wow.
And we're also seeing different ways to interact with AI for creation, like Cloudflare open sourcing Vibe SDK, a one-click AI coding platform, this idea of vibe coding.
Yeah, it points towards more rapid, almost experimental code generation, trying things out quickly with AI assistance.
Yeah.
But underpinning all of this, the powerful models like Grok, the defensive systems, the coding tools, is the need for effective context engineering for AI agents.
Yeah.
Meaning you have to feed the AI the right information, the right context for it to be effective. Garbage in, garbage out still applies, even with super smart AI. Getting the prompt and the context right is critical.
Let's focus fully on defense now. Security, compliance, and privacy. A big operational theme seems to be consolidation, bringing tools together. The summary highlights transitioning the Sentinel SIEM experience from Azure to Defender Portal.
That's a really significant move by Microsoft. A SIEM security information and event management system is like the central nervous system for a security team. It collects logs and alerts from everywhere.
Okay.
Moving Sentinel, their main SIEM, into the Defender portal signals a major push towards a unified security platform. One place for alerts, threat correlation, investigation, probably unified licensing too eventually. It simplifies things for the Security Operations Center, the SOC, but also locks them more into the Microsoft ecosystem.
And that unified platform is getting smarter with things like Microsoft Security Copilot agents, right?
Yeah.
AI infused into the SOC tools.
Exactly. AI helping analysts investigate faster, understand threats better. It fits the consolidation theme. And on the compliance side, the pressure just keeps ratcheting up.
Yeah, the summary mentions the DoD issues replacement for risk management framework and getting ready for FedRAMP's FY25 foundation for massive FY26 improvements.
Right. If you do business with the U.S. government, especially defense or federal agencies, you need to pay close attention. The compliance requirements are getting tougher and more complex. Significant prep work is needed for those FY26 changes.
But maybe the most eye-opening piece in this section is the claim that phishing training doesn't actually work and what to do instead. That cuts against so much standard advice.
It's pretty damning, isn't it? Think of all the mandatory training, the simulated phishing tests. The findings suggest it just doesn't move the needle much on actual user behavior long term.
So if training the human firewall isn't the answer, what is?
Well, the article likely suggests focusing more on technology and process controls that don't rely on the user always doing the right thing. Things like better email filtering, stronger authentication, which ties into that other point about how secure are passkeys, really? Shifting defenses away from fallible humans towards more robust tech?
Okay, navigating all this, AI agents, new compliance rules, questions about basic security practices, it requires incredibly adaptable people. Which brings us to learning and certifications. The resources listed show a huge range of skills needed now.
It's really striking. You can't just be, say, a coder or a network admin anymore. You need breadth and depth. Look at the list.
Yeah.
You've got foundational stuff like a free textbook, a first course on data structures in Python, and a full-stack developer beginner's tutorial.
So the basics are still essential. You need to know how to build things.
Absolutely. But then, right alongside that, you see something super specific, like the Microsoft 365 e-discovery tutorial search, hold and export. That's a niche skill tied to legal and compliance requirements.
So a developer might also need to understand legal discovery processes.
In some roles, yeah. That's the kind of hybrid professional we're seeing more of. And the industry is trying to recognize these blended roles with certs like the AWS CloudOps Engineer Associate SOA CO3 certification course that combines development, operations, and cloud platform skills.
And looking even further out, there's that Understanding Quantum Technologies 2025 PDF. That feels pretty futuristic.
It is, but it connects directly to the next section on industry trends. Understanding the fundamentals of quantum now is about preparing for what's coming just over the horizon.
Perfect transition. Let's hit our final section, industry news and trends. And starting right with quantum, that PDF made sense when you see the news. Caltech sets record with 6,100 qubit array.
Yeah, 6,100 qubits. That's a genuinely impressive number. It's not just lab theory anymore. This kind of progress shows massive investment is paying off and suggests practical quantum applications might be closer than many think. It makes learning about quantum tech feel much more relevant, right?
Definitely less theoretical. And we're seeing market structure changes too. Microsoft launches App Store for cybersecurity. What's the significance there?
It suggests a shift towards a more open marketplace model for security tools. Instead of just buying everything from one big vendor, maybe you can browse and integrate solutions from various providers via an app store within, say, the Defender portal. It could foster more innovation and choice.
Interesting. But The biggest, most impactful piece of industry news has to be that Gartner prediction. Preemptive cybersecurity to dominate 50% of spend by 2030. Half of all security spending.
That is a staggering forecast. It really sets the agenda for the entire security industry for the next 5 or 6 years.
So if we connect that prediction back to everything else we've discussed, what's the big picture?
The big picture is that the tools and trends we talked about, that AI agent immune system, the security co-pilot agents, the unified platforms, the focus on identity, those are the things driving the spending shift.
Because reactive security is just too slow and expensive.
Exactly. Companies are realizing they can't just wait to get hit and then clean up. The cost is too high, the damage too severe. The money, the big investment is flowing towards technologies that predict and prevent attacks before they succeed. Autonomous, AI-driven, preemptive defense, that's where the market is heading. Fast.
Okay, so if we wrap all that up, the dominant theme running through almost every section of this technical news summary is the rise of the AI agent.
It really is pervasive.
It's boosting productivity in M365. It's automating huge chunks of DevOps and infrastructure management. And crucially, it's becoming the core engine for this next generation of cybersecurity.
Yeah, the integrated preemptive security that Gartner predicts will take half the budget. And when you put that prediction next to the performance data, like that AI immune system being 3.4 times faster at containment,
It paints a pretty clear picture.
it really does. It strongly suggests that relying primarily on human analysts to catch and respond to threats in real time, that approach is rapidly becoming outdated, maybe even negligent soon.
Which leaves us with a final, maybe uncomfortable thought for you, our listeners, to chew on. Given that finding that phishing training doesn't actually work fundamentally undermines a common security audit checkpoint.
Right, a check-the-box item for many organizations.
And recognizing this huge mandatory shift towards preemptive AI defense that Gartner forecasts. Are companies, are your organizations truly prepared, maybe even legally obligated to start retiring ineffective awareness training and instead mandate serious investment in these autonomous adaptive defense systems?
Is it time to admit the human firewall approach has failed and fully embrace the machine? That really feels like the pivotal security question for the rest of this decade.
Something to think about. I hope this deep dive helped bring some clarity to the relentless flow of technical news this week. Definitely check out the original source material if you want to go even deeper.